city builders, and welcome back to Sophropolis. We've done loads in the last few episodes, and if you didn't see it, I also did like a time lapse that showed the Great Naruto toll bridge which we've been building, and you can see all these wonderful details that have been taking place in front of you at this very moment. So I've got a lot to show you, and we've also got quite a lot to do. As you can see immediately over here, the Great Naruto toll bridge has taken place, and it's really looking very nice. I'm very pleased with it. Done all the little details. As you can see, we've got trees. I've had to do all these lines and things individually. It's been a bit incredible. The buses don't actually have to go through the toll road. They can go around is how I've done it. So they've got these bus only lanes here, go up here, and then you've got a bus stop on either side. So each way they can actually get off and change if they want to come and do a bit of shopping. I've got a little shopping centre here. It's only small, but it's basically a stop off, you know, like a garage on the motorway. It's just so you can meet with your friends or swap. I might do some ferry connections here, but I'm probably going to do those over here because that's where this bus goes. It goes right the way down to the main bus stops over in the town centre by Chirpyland, and it comes all the way up to Soundred Keys, which is what we're going to be building today on the other side of the Naruto toll bridge. First, I do want to show you the odd detail that we've been working on that you might not have seen in the time lapse. First one is down here. It's this nice little roadworks that I've been working on. It's something a bit different. I like the idea of trying to have the road come off and then they have to go around and off of these main lanes. It took a bit of work and I'm quite pleased with it. Got all these people milling around, doing what builders do. And it actually looks really good close up too. You've got a crane, you've got some big lights which have now turned off. People doing cement, I've put the barriers up. All the cars have to slow down, and I think if we can come around here, if they haven't switched off. Oh, they have. Oh no, they are flashing. Yeah, oh, I've been run over. But there's even flashing signs telling people to avoid this lane because it doesn't work. The road is closed. Look at them all stood still, not doing anything. I suppose they're all just fixed models, but still, it's so realistic. But on from there, what else have we got? We did all the bus lanes, which at some point I'll probably do another time lapse for. That'll be its own episode. I want to do some bus routes in first person that you can watch, see everything up close and get all those nice details in. Down here, as you can also see from the time lapse, the beach is now totally finished. It's covered in towels and beach balls and all the sorts of things that you might find on a beach. It's even all lovely and sandy. Got some boats, a little dock. It's all coming together and looking very nice. So the Amaga Mark III beach, which we named after one of our wonderful subscribers who was there live in the chat one day when we were naming it, it's all coming off very, very well. And I can't wait to carry on with the other side, so let's get on with it. Over here, as you can see, the toll road, the toll bridge, comes in from this side. It'll go up round here and then go round this roundabout, or they can come down, round the other roundabout and then back out the other side. Or if you're not leaving, you just go across here and then through here. We've made it here so that they can actually, they have to give way, and it's all one way. So it's basically a giant roundabout. So it creates a lot of flow, and that should stop there being too much traffic backing up. It's also another reason why you only pay at one end of the toll bridge, because you wouldn't pay to go, you know, we could have one lane pay on that side, on this side of the bridge, and then you'd have another lane pay on this lane on this side of the bridge. But there's no point doing that like you do in real life. We've just put them both at one end. I think it looks better, and it's also a lot smoother in terms of traffic flow. So let's get in our first chunk, shall we? I like the idea of using lots of little roads and building a sort of maze area built around a central zone, which should be very, very industrial, or at least commercial. Not industrial. It'll be offices and such. I'm going to use these big bulky roads. They're massive, but they're from my UK pack, which I'm very pleased with. The UK pack really is superb for roads which I recognise, because I want to use some very big roads and then have loads and loads of networks coming off of that. But for it to work like a real sort of commercial area, it needs to have all sorts of little details that I want to make sure we get in. Like, we need to make sure that there's nice plaza areas and open places for people to, not parks, but lots of commercials, walking only parts where you might think that you get cars but they're not allowed. But that's something I've got some roads for. We'll have to deal with that when we get to it. So we'll go straight down and along the sea front. I'll probably do a time lapse for this section, but what we'll do is, as always, there'll be some lovely music playing in the background, some artists that you can go and support. If you want to do that, their name and the track should be listed below. So I will see you guys on the other side. And we're back. Okay, I've just been setting up mainly the roads. I've quite liked this sort of semicircle theme here and there, so I'm going for quite a curvy sort of look to this commercial area down the bottom. I'm probably going to make most of this side commercial and offices, and make most of this side into housing and residential for the upper class of Sandrid Keys. And obviously we do need to change the law over here, because the whole point of building this is to make it into our Amsterdam. So let's do that. Brain jelly, there we go. Okay, so we've got parks and recreation, recycling, because recycling's hip and cool. Recreational use, so anybody that comes into here is going to have that. I don't think that applies everywhere, does it? No, it's just Sandrid Keys. Good, because we don't want it everywhere. That would be bad. High ticket prices? No, but we do want them to prefer ferries when we build them. Can we do ferries? I don't think we can yet. Oh, we can do ferries. Okay then, I'll probably sort that out first. That's something quite exciting. We can stick this down and we'll have a good idea of how we're going to deal with the flow of people into this area, because I've made a long concrete strip here for a main high street, and then a good way of getting to that would probably be here. So let's put down a depot first, because we'll need one, and that needs to go out the way a little bit, because this has nothing to do with the ferries, it's just where the ferries go home. So where the ferries go home at night. So we'll put that there. Need a ferry pier, a proper big one. Nice big ferry pier, and let's put it here, and I'll have to deal with that in a second on the other side, because that's going to need repositioning. I'm not 100% sure on how we're going to put that there, but I'll neat and tidy that. And then down past the Omega Mark III Peach, the pier. Oh, we could put it on the end of the pier. Oh, that would make so much sense as well. Done. I'll need a road though. We can't put it there. That doesn't make any sense. I take that back. Okay, let's try another thought. It'll probably have to go down here, won't it? Because we could put a road off of here quite nicely. So I'll put it here, deleting all of this that we've done. I'll tidy that up in a bit, and we'll just join this road up for now, so that we know exactly what we are dealing with. We'll go for a road that people can't park on, because people don't need to park here. Perfect. Is that going to delete everything? No, I think that did quite a good job actually. Perfect, because I don't need a bus route or anything to go up to it. People can walk to the bus route here, really. We could put one on there, but I don't think it's necessary. That is perfect. Let's delete the trees, which are there, because they're also a bit in the way. Bye, trees. Sorry, I know we put you all down thinking you were going to be amazing, but turns out we don't need any of you. You're all in the way. Move some of these because they look nice, but they are now just grassy knolls which are covering up perfectly legitimate ways of travel. People can't walk through a grassy knoll. Move. God, there's a lot of trees and things. Move all the trees. There we go. And we can start tarting this up because it is a bit of a mess. The park can luckily come along there and down here or along there into the seafront, so that's perfect. This is all relatively joined up. I am going to have to tweak this a bit though, because that's unacceptable. It can't go there. Let's bring that right up to the seafront. Is that better? Yeah, I prefer that. I think that looks a lot nicer, and then we can tart this into a much straighter line. And I feel much better about everything. Yes, much nicer. Okay, so we've got that sorted. It does need water. Apparently, being on the beach isn't enough. They can't get water from... I suppose it's not clean water, that's seawater, but still, I feel like that's a mute point when you're a boat. Join these up. I suppose we can connect it onto this, can't we? Can we go through that? I was really worried for a second it was going to say we can't. It's a main ferry route. Don't be so silly. We'll curve around Chirpy, past the beach, and along the seafront. Because you don't just go straight across the ocean. That's not generally how things work. They try to stay nearish the land in case anything goes wrong. It's a safety feature that they do in real life. You know, if you didn't know, that's a true thing. If any boat, it's the same for planes. Most planes, when they're flying over, if you look at a route that a plane takes when you go on holiday, it will stick to land as much as it can, and then it'll only go across the sea at the nearest point, because it's just a safer way of doing it. You don't really want to be in the middle of nowhere. You want to be near help if anything goes wrong. Okay, let's hit play. And now people can get over there, I believe. I mean, not enough water. There's loads of water. Is it just too high up? Is that the problem? No, it's fine now. That is really high up though, isn't it? That is silly high out the water. I might actually have to tweak this, because that's ridiculous. Quick time lapse while I do that, because it might take me a moment. Okay, that will do for now. It's a very botched job, but at the moment I'm going to work on this slope. I might put a couple of little shops in here. I'll put a walkway. We'll tie it up with some trees. I need to block these ends off as well, because these are just awful. I can't even leave them. I can't even leave them like that. It's just, they look atrocious. Look at them. They're eyesores, but I'm going to leave them. We'll be fine. I'll come back and tart that whole thing up in a much longer time lapse. But for now, we have the ferries. So let's make our way back and finish off what we're going to actually be dealing with on Sandrid Keys and where these people are going to be turning up. At least this side's not hundreds of miles in the air. This side's fine. And there we go, even that side's all tarted up. The only thing we don't have over this side of the world is electricity, and I've already planned for that. If you haven't noticed already, over here, there's some wind turbines, because I want this whole island to run on its own power. That's the dream anyway, because I think it would be a really nice way of doing it. I think it's a much cooler way of doing it as well, because it's running these over the ocean is not just very expensive. 7 grand. But it also looks ridiculous because they're on these huge piles, and I just think that's silly. So we're going to have its own power source on the island, and it can be completely eco-friendly then, as well as all the other ridiculous things which are going to be taking place here to make it as hip and cool and trendy as we can. We're also going to make sure it's completely self-sufficient. We'll plug that in there and then start running some of these power cables around. Does this one have a road as well? Okay, yeah, it does. We'll have to... So many of these buildings have roads, and I'm like, do they need roads really? Like, is roads something that these things would actually... Because I guess people need to get in and out of these places. It's not like... But I feel like some of them you could just walk up to and park nearby. Stick a road on the back then. Whereabouts? We'll use a road that doesn't allow parking again, and I might actually just connect it straight onto there rather than onto there, and then we can bring this around and then bring it onto there, which makes it into a slightly nicer route. I like having the odd curve. I'm starting to really... That's really growing on me at this end of the world. This will be a very curvy place. Lots of circles, semicircles and roundabouts, and I don't know if it's actually going to flow very well, but I'm hoping that it will. They do have water, don't they? Did I do water? Yeah, I dragged it underneath the bridge, but I haven't actually connected anything. So next, bang, 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 quickly fast forward. The water spiral is complete. We are a bit close on water actually, so let's add in those. I have moved our... It cost me a little bit of money in that last time lapse, but I moved the poo out right the way to the edge of the map. Not because I felt like cheating, but because the water flow in this map that I have made is all going the wrong direction. It's all flowing inwards, which is my fault. Maybe I just didn't design it very well, but it means that the poo is flowing upstream, so I've just had to pay the money and move them as near to the edge of the world as possible. It's still drifting, all the sewage is still drifting inland a great deal, so I'm not really getting around the problem, but it's its own layer of challenge having to dodge our own output. And next let's put in some water in, and that should balance out the system if I hit play. Da-na-na-na. Now we're making a huge amount of extra water and an output that is silly talk. So now all we have to do is start putting down some nice buildings. I do want to have some parks over here, so I might make the insides of these Ds into nice green areas. I know that there's already green areas, that might seem a bit weird, but this grass won't be deleted, so I'm going to patch them in now, and we can tart it up later, but this will just remind me, because the buildings won't grow there then. Grow? They won't appear. Same for here, because we don't want roundabouts to have any buildings on them. Do want to have some schools, though those can probably go over here. We do have another proper... No, the schools wouldn't be in the big commercial area. That doesn't make sense. So let's just start with shops. We'll put them all around this section for now, because it's going to be quite a slow grow. We haven't unlocked high density shopping yet. We're still burning our way to it, so that'll be certainly on our to-do list. But we can put in some landmarks, some really nice park areas. We can certainly work on maybe planning where we're going to have the monorail. And now that we've got the ferry, when the people do start coming, and my god, will the people come, we will have to start working out what to make them do with their time. So that'll be the next thing. But not these, you cannot live here. No one can build here, these aren't for building. It's a nice open space. The mayor demands open spaces. Right, that'll start springing up quite nicely and quite quickly, I would have thought. So, we've got a bus route that already goes all the way around the circuitry that is the Naruto, the Great Naruto Toll Bridge, and then it stops over here, which I thought was just quite a nice central location. But now that we're working on all of it properly, that is not true. I think it might be a good idea to make these two bus routes separate, because the route that goes around all of this and the one that goes all the way across the bridge and back, you don't want people to be getting on to have to go all the way over the bridge and back when they don't want to. They just want to go from here to here. So I might actually quickly delete this and we'll try it again in a second. Okay, that's the bus routes and everything sorted. As you can see, I had a bit of a fiddle while I was at it as well, because I couldn't resist, whilst I was doing the bus routes, sort of sorting out a lot of the tiling problems. So it's now got a nice little park area down here with a fountain in the middle. There's some blocks of flats around the outside, which I thought looked really nice. Some burn marks as well, because The police are here. They've been having trouble with some yobs who keep coming here in the middle of the night and driving their cars like fools. So I've put those on the corner, put down some bus stops. The ferries are now working because for a second I thought, why haven't the ferries spawned? And then I realised I didn't have the texture pack. So I went and quickly grabbed that. And now that we're back, I'm going to hit play and we'll see if all these buses turn up. Over here I've got this. Oh, what's going on? Oh no, something's shaking. There's an earthquake happening. It didn't tell me there was an earthquake happening. Normally there's a big warning. Oh no, it is up here. It does say it does say.
Panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
Oh no, earthquakes are awesome though. Look at all the water being displaced. Okay, that's not too bad. At least it's a great distance from where we are, and it's not very big either. It's not like a level 9 or anything, because otherwise some buildings like this far away, like this whole screen, buildings can fall down from earthquakes. It is quite a large impact. Wow, the forces of nature. Let's fast forward through the forces of nature and see how it actually ends up. Okay, it's just a little crack. It's not the end of the world. So, back to what we were doing over here. Yes, these bus routes are looking all nice. The ferries are working. People are now moving in. And over here, I've done a nice little bus-only area where these people are already starting to pile up. And that's a change from here, the bus that goes around this area, to the bus that goes over the bridge down to there and back over, which I think is a nice, easy way of doing it. And it also looks very nice. Brings people into the big commercial shopping centre, so that'll be perfect. What's going on over here? Low land value? Oh, it's almost like they know that we need to put in some parks next. All right then, okay. Over here in these semicircles is where I was going to put them. So I think that's probably where we will stick with them, and we'll put some more blocks of flats around the outside and make it look like these were both built as sort of high density, there we go, my brain went blank, but high density areas that were all built and designed at once to be communal, have a nice shared space in the middle. So I'll stick those down and we'll get to building a park. Time lapse. Alright, I think that's probably sorted that out for now. At some point, like I say, I'll be doing some more time-lapse episodes, which are time-lapse only, and in those we'll be dealing with most of the fine detailing. But let's get back to actually making this place run. So let's get down a police station, because we're going to need one. Probably as far to the left as possible, because we're going to have a lot more housing over here, so we probably want to go and make sure that these are right on the main road and have easy access to it. So they can spin round here and go any direction they need to. Same for the fire. We'll put that... Oh, there's not really a huge amount of room. I don't want to go too near the water. There is a bit of space on this side. I suppose we can put it in there. That's not the end of the world. And then a hospital. Graveyard first, because graveyards are quite pretty for some reason. People like having graveyards nearby, so I might try and fit this into one of these nice square areas. I might go for that. Oh yeah, but the sort of electrical power system would be right next to it, which is, no, actually that almost feels perfect. Yeah, that's nice. We'll have that there. Slightly out the way at the back, next to the power inlet. For some reason, that really appeals to me today. We'll stick with that. There, and now we'll deal with the actual hospital. Oh wow, we got the medical helicopter. That will be useful. Have we unlocked the fire helicopter? No, just medical. It's only the fire one that I really want, to be honest. Because the fire helicopter is just so useful. It's a beast of a thing. They can fly anywhere and drop water from the sky. It's just great. They fix fires so quickly. It's mainly forest fires that I have trouble with. Though, they seem to have stopped, to be honest. I can't see any fires. I haven't checked in a little while. Brief moment of hesitation before I have a look around. There's lots of burn marks everywhere, but they're slowly getting better. No, all looks good. I don't see any burning. Yeah, I don't see any fires at all. That's fantastic. Anywho, I like having this sort of service area down here, so I might try and put this on the corner. I know it's a little bit out of the way. It doesn't feel very good to me at the moment. I'll need to do something about this because they just feel so disconnected from everything when they're right up here. I might be able to get away with just tweaking them up to the roads a little bit so that they're not so stuck out. That would make me feel a bit better. That looks a bit nicer. Bring the fire one round so it's all kind of in a block. Yeah, that's a bit better. Still not brilliant, but it looks a bit better. I mean, there's bits of grass poking over and things, but that's fine. Police are going to have a nice job over here anyway, so they're with recreational use in play. There's lots of people doing things they shouldn't, or things that they can now, so it must have a budding tourist trade. I did actually, secret little thing that I've got, I haven't done yet or mentioned, is I'm a bit of a fan in real life of the EF1, which is well, it's called the E2, but it's the electric Formula 1 racing. And I won't bore you with the details, but I have got the track and I've also got F1 cars, which I can set on sort of I put them on a bus track, so I can set a loop for buses and set them to be F1 cars, and I've got all the bits that we might need to do that if I can find them quickly. Okay, here we go. This is most of them, I think. I've just had to type it in, but I've got bits of fences, I've got advertising lorries, loads of adverts, and then the cars, we've got the bits that go at the side, I've got some stands as well that it doesn't all seem to be coming up in there, but we've got bits of track, I've got the barriers, everything you can think of to make a really realistic F1 entire circuit. And so I'm considering putting that around here. We could have that on the posh side, and we could build a stadium, because there's a football stadium that we could include with that, and that would really boost the whole thing together, and I think that would make it into a really nice, succinct little area. Here we go, here are the F1 bits. I had to go and find them, but there's quite a few of them. I don't know exactly what they all look like. They're all a bit different, because some of them are one-way, some of them are two-way, so that you can use them. Because obviously we might want to make them into bits of this, because lots of cities around the world have an F1 track that goes through the actual city centre, and we could close the roads, put up barriers and run a race every now and then, which I think, although is very difficult to do, it could be a great deal of fun. So I do want to have a bit of a practice at that, and again, that's not something we'll be doing this episode because it's going to take a very long time, so I'll quickly get rid of those. But I think we've actually done quite a lot this time. We've got loads of stuff down, we've got the parks together, I've got the bus routes done, everything's looking very pretty. Let's have a little look around and slow back down time because everyone's moving very fast. Ah, look at him, skateboarding in the park. Damn you! I'll get the police onto him. Where are they? There they are. There's a man! Quick, arrest him! I don't think he's actually breaking the law, but I'm the mayor. I demand you arrest that boy. Hey, this is all looking very nice. I've been changing some of the effects and the way that it looks. So although the background's a bit blurry, it's so that we get a nice smooth frame rate. And it also means that it's a bit like looking at a model because we are God. And I really like some of the ways that they've tried to improve the game over the years. It's had some really nice updates that really do bring the whole thing to life. And having all the traffic lights and the road markings from Bonnie, England, God, it makes me feel at home. Where's next? We do need to go and have a look at a few things. Oh wow, look at that. I mean, that you might not recognise this, but these are everywhere in England. You press them and then obviously it tells the traffic lights to stop and then you can cross. But I've never had a look at them up close. That's a hell of a lot of detail, really, considering you see them from up here. Let's go and have a look at the bus route over here, because I haven't checked this out in first person, and I would like to see... Oh, it looks quite nice, actually. With the tower blocks in the background, we've got some flowers. We don't want to cross the road like a fool and get run over by the bus. We'll walk round and use the actual walkway that we're supposed to. Yeah, because we're awesome. We're going to come down here. I've put all these markings down, as you can see, because most of them sort of fade out when I walk near them. But bus lane only. Got these checkered... You might have noticed me putting these down, to be fair, these checkered squares. We have them all over the place in the UK. They basically mean that you're not allowed to park there, so you can't stop, you have to keep driving. So I like trying to put those down on junctions, because they're something that I would see all over the place. There's a lot of people waiting for the bus though, aren't there? They've all very nearly, you've all got faces. Very tired. I don't know when the bus is going to get here. I haven't set up the timing yet. They might be waiting some time. Last but not least, we've got the ferries. So let's go and have a stick our head in, at least. Have a look, stick our heads in over here. And see exactly. Can we walk out onto the ferries? I assume that we can. Good. Oh, nearly. It would be nice if you could walk on solid objects, but most of them you don't seem to be able to. Ah, I'm going to be hit by a boat. That's not so good. Let's get on the boat. Oh wow, I didn't know that. There's actually a full deck and everything. Stop! I want to board you. Oh dear. Well, we can't quite do this without having to fiddle with the camera a little bit, but I can make this work if I'm very fiddly with it. Give me just a second. Better. There we go. Hit play. And we can end the episode drifting over the channel. Yeah, God, such a beautiful view. A little bit blurry, but a beautiful view. So thank you very much for joining me this time, guys. In the next glorious episode, we're going to be putting down the F1 track, because I really want to start planning that. Trying to sort out this camera, because I'll try and put some together so that we're not clipping through the roofs of vehicles. I'll be doing a time-lapse soon, which will show me tarting up the rest of the town. I want to sort out the bus routes. I want to try and unlock as much as I can, because I want to try and put in these metro trains, maybe a monorail at some point. But if you've got any suggestions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at the VR Sofa if you've got anything you want to say to me personally. If you haven't already, consider becoming a subscriber. Hit that like button, because it really helps me out on the channel, just trying to get the video out to new people who haven't seen them before. And we will see you all in the next glorious episode of City Skylines.